Okay, so today we are discussing uh, chapter number 5, which deals with adjectives and adverbs. In this chapter, there is a detailed discussion on both these classes in English grammar, adjectives and adverbs. We will be taking them up one by one. First, we'll discuss adjectives, and thereafter, we will come to adverbs. So, adjectives, as you all know, are words which add to the meaning of the nouns. It is a very important category in English grammar, a very important class of words in grammar. Adjectives play a very important role because they are a lexical item and they communicate a large part of the meaning connected with the noun or the noun phrase. In other words, as I have already said, they add to the meaning of the noun. Okay? They tell us something more about the noun. They give us more information about the noun. Okay, so we commonly use adjectives in our day-to-day life uh, as when we say, okay, the phone is very expensive. He's a tall boy. Okay, she is an intelligent girl. Okay, it is a beautiful picture. The view is splendid. So, in all these, we are making use of adjectives either before the noun or after the noun. So, we have to note three things when we discuss adjectives. One, uh, the form of adjectives. Okay? How are adjectives formed? Okay? What are the characteristics of adjectives as far as their formal features are concerned? Then, secondly, we have to note the usage related features of adjectives. In other words, we have to understand the function of adjectives. Third, we have to learn about the classifications and sub-classifications of adjectives. This discussion about the formal features of adjectives, the functional features of adjectives, and the classifications and sub-classifications of adjectives would help us understand this category of English uh, class of words in English grammar to a large extent. So, this is the title slide, adjectives and adverbs. Then we come to the first slide, distinctive features of adjectives. Okay. How do we identify adjectives? So, the first distinctive feature of adjectives is that most of the adjectives are gradable. By gradable, we mean that we can say that the adjective signifies a lesser or a greater amount of a certain quality indicated by them. So, with a word like great, we can have comparative form like greater or a superlative form like greatest. So, adjectives are characterized by this kind of gradability. They have comparative forms and superlative forms. Great, greater, greatest. Most of the adjectives form comparatives and superlatives like this uh, through inflection uh, by adding er or est. If the word happens to be uh, quite long, then we can use more or most. So intelligent cannot be inflected with er or est. In such cases, we can say intelligent. Comparative can be formed with the help of more intelligent, and superlative can be formed with the help of most intelligent. So this is the first distinctive feature of adjectives, that they inflect to form comparatives and superlatives. In case they are long, okay, and inflection is not possible, then we can add more or most, okay, in order to obtain comparative and superlative forms. Secondly, adjectives provide the base for adverbs. This is another way in which we can recognize adjectives. Okay? Adverbs are formed by adding ly to the available adjectives. So from happy, we can derive happily. Okay? From noisy, we can obtain noisily. Okay? Then we can pre-modify adjectives. This is the third distinctive feature of adjectives. Adjectives can be pre-modified. Okay? That means we can have a pre-modifier, okay, before the adjective. So she is happy can be pre-modified by adding very, and we can say she is very happy. So these are the three distinctive features of adjectives. After this, as far as the function of adjectives is concerned, they are mainly divided into attributive adjectives and predicative adjectives. Uh, Attributive adjectives pre-modify nouns. Predicative adjectives are either the subject complements or object complements. Now let us understand this. Adjectives basically, as I said, can be classified into attributive and predicative adjectives. Attributive adjectives are those adjectives which come before the noun, okay, which have their place or which occur before the noun. Okay, the adjectives which come before the noun are called attributive adjectives. The beautiful painting, the main argument. Here, beautiful and main are attributive adjectives. Okay. On the other hand, adjectives can be predicative. By predicative, we mean adjectives that occur after the linking verb, like is, seems, okay, make, etc. So, in such cases, predicative adjectives will have the function of subject complements or object complement. Now, let us see this, okay, in the next two examples. Your daughter is pretty. Now, here, pretty is being used as a complement for the subject your daughter. So, here, predicative adjective is functioning as subject complement, where the adjective tells us something more about the subject, the daughter. The daughter is pretty. So pretty is subject complement. Okay, it is a predicative adjective, comes after the verb, after the noun, and after the verb, and functions as subject complement. In the second sentence, he made his wife happy. Happy as an adjective is being used not for he, which is the subject, but his wife. Okay, he made his wife happy. So happy is being used for his wife. Here it is functioning as the object complement. So just to repeat myself, adjectives can be attributive and predicative. Attributive adjectives come before the noun, whereas predicative adjectives come after the noun as well as after the verb. Predicative adjectives can either be subject complements or they can be object complements. The next category of predicative adjectives is post-positive adjectives. These adjectives are different from predicative adjectives in the sense that they do not follow the verb. Okay? In the earlier slide, we saw that both in the case of subject complement and object complement, the adjective followed the verb. Your daughter is pretty. Made is a verb. He made his wife happy. In post-positive adjectives, we cover such adjectives or we include such adjectives which follow the noun immediately or which come immediately after the noun. Okay. For instance, uh, in such expressions as president elect, postmaster, journal, people involved, okay, we have many such expressions where uh, in a way we can say the adjective is attached with the noun. It follows the noun immediately. Okay, so these adjectives are known as post positive adjectives. The first example, some adjectives, let us first read the description. Some adjectives usually follow the word they modify and are rarely used attributively. So I want something bigger. So bigger is the post positive adjective, which is used to modify something. And then we have some regular expressions like president elect, postmaster journal, people involved, where the adjective follows the noun immediately or is written immediately after the noun. Next, we come to the category of adjectives. Okay? The next category of adjectives. This deals with the use of adjectives as nouns. Okay? Adjectives can function as headwords of noun phrases. We have dealt with this when we were discussing nouns in the last lecture. Okay, so here again, we can see that adjectives can function as nouns. When adjectives function as nouns, there are two or three important things to remember. One, when adjectives function as nouns, they always come with a definite determiner, the definite article, the. Secondly, they always have a plural and generic reference. That means they will always take a plural verb, and secondly, they refer to all the members of the group. So when we say the old need more attention, we are using the adjective old as a noun, as the subject of this noun phrase. Okay, and the subject of this sentence as well. So when we say the old need more attention, okay, there are three things we must notice. One, old always occurs with the definite article the. Secondly, it will not take needs singular verb, but will take a plural verb need. And third, it refers to the entire group of old people. So the old need more attention. The rich should own their social responsibility. Here, the term rich refers to all the rich people. The wise should remain quiet in front of folly. And in addition to this, adjectives referring to nationality can also be used in a similar way. The British love football. So here, the term the British refers to all the British citizens. So nationality words ending with ish, ch, isc, for instance, British, French, Chinese can be used in this way, okay, uh, as subjects of the sentence or as head words in a noun phrase. So this is a very distinctive use of adjectives as nouns. Now let's come to the next slide. This deals with reduced adjective clause. Now sometimes an adjective is used in a sentence, okay, but we must uh, have a we must have a sense of uh, that we must, by looking at this adjective, be able to see that this adjective is not an adjective but it is a reduced adjective clause. I have tried to show this with the help of two examples. Now, he, as he was nervous, he fumbled while while speaking. Now, in this, the underlined part is actually an adjective clause. Now, this can be reduced in two ways. One, being nervous, he fumbled while speaking. Second, nervous, he fumbled while speaking. So, what we need to note here is that in the third sentence, the term nervous is not a term complete in itself, but it is the first adjective clause on the top in the first sentence used in a very reduced form. So this is another common use of adjectives, where adjective clauses are reduced, and one word, one adjective stands for the entire clause. So he was nervous. It can be written as being nervous, and it can also be written as nervous. The same thing can be seen in the next three sentences. When they were enthusiastic, they made very good students. When enthusiastic, they made very good students. And lastly, we can also say enthusiastic. Now, enthusiastic, rather than being an adjective uh, only, is actually a reduced adjective clause. So we must have uh, uh, knowledge of such reduced clauses, and must be able to we should be able to identify this kind of usage, okay, when we see it being used in various sentences. Now next we come to sub classification of adjectives. We have already seen that adjectives can be subclassified as attributive and predicative. Now, on this basis, we can say that there are adjectives which can be both attributive and predicative. There are adjectives which are only attributive, and there are adjectives which are only predicative. Okay, so three types of adjectives can be found. Those which can come before the noun and after the noun, those which come only before the noun, and those which come only after the noun. So they are termed as both attributive and predicative, attributive only, and predicative only. Now, let us first look at a few slides which deal with those adjectives which are only attributive. In this category, first of all, we have non-inherent adjectives. What do we mean by non-inherent adjectives? By non-inherent adjectives, we mean those adjectives which do not directly characterize the noun, Let me explain this by reading the sentence on the in the slide. An old friend. Okay, when we use old to refer to friendship and not friend, यानी ये मेरा पुराना दोस्त है, तो पुराने से मतलब ये नहीं है कि वो दोस्त पुराना है, दोस्ती पुरानी. So when we use adjectives like this is called non-inherent use of adjectives. When the adjective does not characterize the noun, but it characterizes uh, something else. Okay, in the book, this aspect of adjectives is described like this. Adjectives that characterize the referent of the noun directly are termed inherent. Those that do not are termed non-inherent. So, which do not characterize the referent directly, okay? Which do not characterize the noun directly. So, old in this sentence is not used for friend but for friendship. Okay, so with such adjectives, it is wrong to say friend is old. Predicative use, okay, would be inappropriate. So, an old friend, non-inherent adjective, is used only predicatively, sorry, attributively, and not predicatively. Okay. So, in your book, you have uh, a list of such uses of non-inherent adjectives. Okay. Uh, for example, just as we used the term old, okay, uh, we can use the term new also. Okay. A new friend, okay, will not, it may not be appropriate to say the friend is new. Okay, because we are not referring to the friend, we are referring to the friendship. So, non-inherent use of adjectives is linked with attributive adjectives. Non-inherent adjectives are attributive, not predicative. Please remember this. We come to the next category of attributive adjectives, which is intensifying adjectives. By intensifying, we mean which basically, okay, are used in such a way that they suggest a certain intensity, okay, rather than quality. They are emphasizers. They emphasize the quality. Okay, uh, they have a heightening or lowering effect. So intensifying adjectives have a heightening or lowering effect. So a certain winner, मतलब पक्का winner, outright lie, एक सफेद झूठ, pure bliss, complete fool. Okay, these intensifying adjectives are also used attributively and not predicative. Okay, in English, it is not appropriate to use intensifying adjectives predicatively. So it will be wrong to say a winner is certain, the lie is outright, the bliss is pure, fool was complete. Okay, they are used attributively. Certain winner, outright lie, pure bliss, complete. Then we have limiter adjectives. These adjectives are also used attributively and not predicative. The term limiter refers to their restrictive meaning. Okay? For instance, if you look at the three adjectives we have cited as examples, it becomes quite clear to you that they restrict the meaning. Okay, that the main reason, मुख्य कारण, जैसे हम, if we translate it in Hindi. So the main reason, okay, the only factor, the same student. They restrict the reference and they also particularize the reference. Okay, so they have this particularizing effect. Main reason, the mukhya karan. Okay, so these adjectives also are normally used only attributively and not predicatively. It is wrong to say the reason is main, the factor is only, the student is same. Okay. Uh, but when we can also use these uh, with a slight change in meaning predicatively also. Okay. Uh, for instance, certain can be used in the phrase a certain person attributively as a limiter adjective. Okay. But when we say Ramesh is certain, there we do not have this meaning of limiter adjective. There we mean Ramesh sure hai. So certain in some words where there are two meanings attached with the term. Okay. Uh, the second meaning can be used as a predicative adjective also. But where there is only one meaning, the adjective will be used attributive. Then we have adjectives related to adverbials. My former friend, formerly my friend, an occasional visitor, occasionally a visitor. Okay. A hard worker, a worker who works hard. Now, these adjectives also occur attributively and not uh, predicatively. Now, you can see that there is a related use in adjective and in adverbial. The same meaning is conveyed in my former friend and formerly my friend. Okay, but we cannot say my friend is former. Okay. So an occasional visitor, occasionally and visitor. The visitor is occasional. We cannot say. It will not be appropriate to use this adjective in predicative manner. Lastly, we have denominal adjectives. Okay. These are derived from nouns. Okay. So, criminal law, atomic scientist, medical school, financial matters, daily newspaper. Okay. These adjectives, uh, in some grammars, they are referred to as classifying adjectives because they classify the nouns. Okay. They are themselves derived from one or the other noun. For instance, criminal is derived from crime, atomic is derived from atom, medical is derived from medicine, financial is derived from finance, and daily is derived from day. Okay. These adjectives basically classify. They are not qualitative adjectives. They refer less to the quality and more to the class. These adjectives also occur attributively and not predicative. Okay. So criminal law, the law is criminal बोलोगे तो मतलब बदल जाएगा. Atomic scientist, scientist is atomic बोलोगे तो मतलब बदल जाएगा. So these are known as denominal adjectives. They are derived from nouns, and these adjectives also do not occur predicatively. They occur attributively. On the other hand, we have nouns which occur predicatively only. For instance, ill, well, unwell, afraid. Okay, we don't say an afraid boy. Okay, normally we'll say the boy is afraid, or the boy is afraid of something, or the boy is afraid to go out. Okay, so there is a list of predicative adjectives given in your book. These adjectives generally, okay, are used predicatively after the noun and not attributively. Now let us uh, look at the next slide. Yes, we can also divide or classify the nouns, adjectives on the basis of gradability. Now, I said in the beginning of this lecture that most of the adjectives are gradable. Okay, they are characterized by gradability. Okay, they can be inflected. Okay, tall, taller, tallest, beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. But many adjectives are not gradable adjectives. They are non-gradable. That means they cannot have comparative and superlative forms, particularly those which are not qualitative adjectives and are classifying adjectives. We just looked at the list of classifying adjectives in this slide. So these adjectives are not gradable. So we cannot say the matter is more financial or the matter is most financial. Okay, or this technique is more atomic or most atomic. These adjectives are non-gradable adjectives. So with this we come to the end of our discussion on adjectives. These were some facts related to the form, the function, and the classification and sub-classifications of adjectives. Okay, ਇਹ adjectives वाला part ਸੀਗਾ ਤੇ adverbs ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਥੋੜਾ part ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਡਿਸਕਸ। ਹੁਣ ਦੱਸੋ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੋਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ?
ਸਰ ਐਡਵਰਬ ਵੀ ਕਰਵਾ ਦਿਓ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਰ।
ਐਡਵਰਬ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਰਾ ਹੀ ਦਊਂਗਾ ਨਾ, ਕੱਲ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਹੀ ਕਰ ਲਾਂਗੇ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਦੱਸੋ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਚਲੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਭੇਜ ਦੇਣਾ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੀ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਫਿਕਸ ਕਰ ਲਾਂ।